Hi guys, welcome to 센트토크스. 안녕하세요 여러분, 센트토크입니다. Now, for those of you that know me on a personal level would know that I absolutely adore Christmas. It's my favourite season and it's just so festive, the warmth, the gold colours, the green, the reds, and everyone just welcoming each other. I just feel like it's the best festive season ever. And because it's in winter, I thought it'd be nice to share with you some of my favourite winter fragrances. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first fragrance that I'm going to be recommending for you today is a good old cheapie. It's from Zara and it's called Fields at Nightfall. Now what I like about this perfume is its packaging. Isn't it adorable? It's like in this beige, nude pink colour, and the mini kind of like milk bottle design I think is quite cute. This is the 30ml one and I like to carry it along when I'm travelling or just, going to work. Now some of you might have already come across this perfume as being a good dupe for Zadig and Voltaire's This Is Her. They're both beautiful gourmands. It's almost like edible, and what they share is this kind of chestnut note. So when you go out in the streets at Christmas in London, they sell like roasted chestnuts, and next to it they also sell like candied apples as well, and it literally smells like a combination of the two. So you've got this like candied facet, so it's quite sweet and creamy, but at the same time the roasted chestnuts gives this fiery kind of smoky smell. And what I really like about this particular perfume is that it actually lasts a long time. So not only the longevity is great, but it projects really well. I actually wore this perfume with this particular cardigan, but when I wore it, all of the people around me were like, "What are you wearing? You smell like edible." Now, I've also heard that this perfume reminds some people of Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace, I believe. So if you're a type of gourmand lover that enjoys the sweet facets but also want a little bit of a kick from the smokiness of chestnuts, and if you want to be a bit unique this winter, please, everyone, go and test out Fields at Nightfall. The next perfume that I'm going to be recommending to you today is another gourmand, although it's a bit of a shift away from anything sweet and smoky. This is Akro's Awake. I haven't actually got a full bottle of it yet, and I think I'm going to go out again and buy it as a gift for someone for Christmas. So what the scent note is basically coffee with a hint of spice like cardamom, and there's also a top note of lemon in it apparently, but I don't really feel the lemon, which is a good thing because I don't really think a coffee with spices go really well with lemon. But for me personally, I think what the lemon does is it keeps it from going too gourmand, like too sickeningly sweet, which is not something you want. Or maybe you do, but I personally like it kept quite subdued. So to me, this smells like freshly ground coffee with maybe a tiny bit of milk froth at the top, and then some spices sprinkled over, like cardamom and cinnamon. Yeah, I think I need some coffee now. So if you like the sound of smelling like spiced coffee for this Christmas, go for Akro's Awake, because I don't know why I didn't buy a full bottle yet. I might go and buy one for myself. The next fragrance that I'm going to be recommending to you is still in the same category of spice drinks, and it's called Gris Charnel by BDK Parfums. Now, I adore this perfume. It's basically like a spiced chai tea latte. Chai tea? That's like tea. It's basically like spiced chai latte, and what it is it's basically a mix between cardamom, some vetiver, my favorite note of iris to make it slightly powdery, and in the base there's tonka bean and sandalwood to really warm the fragrance up. And at the top, what I like is it has a black tea and fig note, so there's this kind of fruity and relaxing element to it as well. So it's kind of spicy, it's kind of creamy from the fig and the iris and the tonka bean, and it's also slightly not sweet per se, but warm, definitely warm. But also the vetiver gives it this slight kick to make it fresh at the same time. Now, most of my friends adore this fragrance as much as I do, but I've seen some people, when they smell it for the first time, they're like, it smells like Chinese medicine. And for some reason, I kind of do get that facet as well. What it smells like is, I think there's this kind of herbal quality. It's quite herbaceous at the top with the black tea, the cardamom and the vetiver, which really does fade away. And in the dry down, you're left with something warm. But I highly recommend that you test it before you decide whether to buy it or not. Because if you haven't tried anything like this, I'm not sure if it will be a very safe blind buy. I do think that this fragrance is perfect for the colder weather, but in particular I can imagine wearing this perfume when it's raining during like a winter season. So it's like cold, it's windy, you don't want to go out, but if you spritz this on, you're set to go. You smell beautiful, you smell cozy but warm and mysterious at the same time, so you'll really enjoy wearing this fragrance when you go out. And now, finally, but definitely not the least, I'm going to be recommending you Chanel's Gabrielle, but the Essence one, not the original one. So normally it comes in like a slightly cubic bottle, but I bought the golden, it's like a travel spray, and it's really beautiful. So if I twist it, it comes out like this, and you can fill it up with other Chanel fragrances. So some of you might be wondering, Chanel Gabrielle, that has nothing to do with Christmas, as in the scent itself might not remind you particularly of Christmas. But for me personally, I remember seeing a lot of advertisements near Christmas on Chanel's Gabrielle, and every time I would walk past a department store, I would see huge advertisements of like the beautiful muses of Chanel. I think the one that I remember in particular is Marion Cotillard, like leaning like this, and she's wearing a beautiful gold dress, and in the background there's like a golden moon, and she just looks so sensual and charming. I don't think she was the muse for Gabrielle. I think the muse now is actually Margot Robbie, but I love them all the same. So every time I spray Gabrielle, I get this image of the two models in my mind, and it reminds me of Christmas because those were the advertisements that I would see all the time during Christmas season. So what does Gabrielle actually smell like? At the top notes, you get a bunch of citruses, some fruity peach and blackcurrant note, and also some red fruits. I don't think Chanel specifies what the red fruits are, but I think I can get some cranberry at the top note. It's almost like the turkey and cranberry jam sandwich that you get during Christmas. Yeah, it's delicious. In the middle note, you get some white flowers, a lot of tuberose, some ylang ylang to round and soften the fragrance up. A lot of white flowers basically, jasmine, orange blossom. You also get a bit of the creaminess from coconut. And then in the base, it's musk, vanilla and sandalwood. Whew, that's a lot of notes in one perfume. But yeah, I would say that instead of the musk, it's more aldehydic. You know how Chanel has this DNA of aldehydes in their perfumes? It's also got that here as well, kind of reminiscent of number 5. And because of the top notes that are juicy and fruity, you don't associate this aldehydic scent as an old lady scent. It's definitely not that. I imagine a more mature lady, maybe in her mid to late 20s, early 30s and onwards, to be wearing this scent for a Christmas party in her sparkly dress, and her hair has to be curled. It can't be straight. And I can imagine her getting lots and lots of compliments at the party because it's just really easily likable. So if you don't particularly enjoy wearing gourmand perfumes or any spicy perfume or anything that's particularly linked with Christmas scents, I'd recommend you to try Chanel's Gabrielle because it's more of a floral, musky, aldehydic scent. Alright guys, so those were some of the perfumes that I would recommend you to try during the Christmas season. Now these aren't really just specified for Christmas, I just think it suits the season very well, but they're all very versatile, so you could wear this anytime you want. And I would also argue that these perfumes are suitable for any gender, and really you should be wearing perfumes that you enjoy wearing and you feel good and confident in it. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you liked my recommendations, please stay in tune for more videos like this. I have a lot of videos in mind that I hope to upload soon, so make sure you watch out for those. And so without further ado, all's well that smells well. Thank you. Goodbye.